So lads, new devlog was released while I was off stream, and I will most definitely review this tomorrow on stream. If you don't want to wait or miss it, here's a quick look at what are the new ships getting into the testing cycle. And boy, we have a lot to unpack here. Let's check it out. First of all, everything, and I mean absolutely everything on this video, is a work in progress and can be of course subject to change. So this is a review of the information at hand and might be obsolete on a future date. In the case of a particular ship of this list, I absolutely hope this release stats are different. So as I get more information about these ships, I will try to keep them updated and track every single ship and how they process and what is the process through their development. Remember, this is testing. Let's go straight into the spicy stuff. 3 new ships are getting into testing, which is not indicative that they will be released soon or that they will be released at all. And just go with the one that everyone wants to see. USS Kearsarge, the new American hybrid battleship, rolls with 12 406mm guns like the one found on North Carolina. You can see the stats on screen. 2 on the front, 2 on the back, 3 barrels each for a grand total of 12 guns. Kearsarge can deliver 157,200 points of damage per salvo, compared with Minnesota's 153,600 and Iowa's 121,500. Reload on these guns is 36 seconds with a 19.6 kilometers base range. Let's not forget, however, that this battleship, being American, get access to artillery plotting room on slot 3, which can further increase its range up to a comfortable 22.7 kilometers. The 84,300 hit points also put her above the rest of the Tier 9 American battleships, including Missouri and Georgia, and as a matter of fact is tied at second place for most HP on its tier. Maximum speed of 30 knots, and on top of stats that are pretty much worthy of a Tier 9.5 battleship, the Kearsarge get access to damage control party, Reaper party, and yes, planes. More specifically to attack aircraft with stats pretty similar to Saipan's F-8F Bearcats loaded with tiny tims. You get 3 planes per attacking flight, 3 aircraft per squadron, and with a hangar space of also 3 planes. On 120 seconds restoration time, so not quite a carrier. But the implication of having your own planes on top of an already pretty strong battleship are just more than obvious. What does this mean to the game if it gets released? Well, first and foremost, Tier 9 only matchmaking will no longer be planes free, but that is a given once the Dutch cruisers get introduced into the game. Now, for the record, I really don't have an issue with this, but I can understand some folk getting really annoyed at this. On the plus side, with more planes coming to the game, building AA ships might no longer feel like a waste since you'll be encountering planes somewhat frequently. Talking about Dutch cruisers, and surprising absolutely no one, nerfs for these ships were announced earlier this morning on another devlog post as we get closer to the early access for the line. A global change to the behavior of airstrikes in hope of making them a more consistent yet less obnoxious interaction, and also specific adjustments per tier, mostly increases on cooldown, reduction of fire chance and penetration, and of course reduction of damage. The other 2 ships joining the 0.10.6 test cycle are American Tier 8 Heavy Cruiser Rochester and Oregon City class Heavy Cruiser with 9 203mm guns in 3 turrets, 2 on the front, 1 on the back. Turrets are virtually identical to its Tech 3 counterpart Baltimore. Stat-wise are essentially the same, with the same stats on range and reload, 16 kilometers and 11 seconds respectively. Rochester starts to get really spicy when you factor in its astounding concealment. Fully built for concealment, you can go under 10 kilometers, 9.7 kilometers if my math is not wrong. However, this cruiser cannot use ambush radar since the radar mounted on this ship can only cover 9 kilometers for 25 seconds. You get access to Hydro or defensive AA, however you trade a consumable for that extra bit of concealment. Since you get access to less consumables of each, 2 charges of radar and 2 charges of your pick Hydra or defensive AA fire, and of course the regular damage control party. The third ship will be a surprise for the Speedy Boys. France finally gets a supercruiser Tier 9 Carnot, packing 10 305mm guns with 19 kilometers range on a 1x4 and 2x3 configuration. 7 barrels on the front and 3 on the back with a really awful 24 seconds reload, which is pretty bad for that caliber. 66,450 hit points, 34 knots of maximum speed without a speed boost and flag. And that's the interesting part. You'll be a super cruiser with access to French signature speed boost, which can be an amazing tool to reposition and create crossfire consistently. We'll see how these work. You get access to Damage Control Party on slot 1, your choice of Hydroacoustic Search or Defensive AI Fire on slot 2, Fighter, Spotting Aircraft or Engine Boost on slot 3, and slot 4 is Reaper Party. You can also get access to my YouTube videos, especially if you hit the subscribe button so you're alert about the future videos on the channel. Hit it now, come on, subscribe, drop a like if you can. So we'll see a high mobility battlecruiser which feels like a breath of fresh air in comparison with the extremely static playstyle of current battlecruisers. At the very end of this, on a somewhat hidden and barely noticeable place, we got the next text. Connecticut has been added to test the combat effectiveness of US battleships in close combat. The ship is a Vermont counterpart with reinforced plating and lightweight shells with higher velocity, but lower damage. What does this mean? It's not clear enough. Might be the testbed for some changes rather than a ship, so let's see how it goes. More ships coming to the game. Which one of these boats do you think will get nerfed or buff? What would you say it's a good way to balance the Kearsarge? Which of these ships is more appealing to you? Comment down below. And if you like the content, remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Frag, this is Unicorn Master Shio gameplay. I got 3k and a kill, dude. I'm killing it. I'm absolutely killing it. Oh, Asashio about to be... Oh my god. Asashio can easily... Wait, is he gonna ram? Oh, I swear to the morning for this. Oh, Joe. Oh, dude. Oh, yikes. That was hilarious. A brave little Yudachi, dude. What is this game, homie? I don't know, dude. Why have this kind of game so early in the morning? I'm definitely not ready. I'm just so not ready.